What is the best compliment you have ever received?
Well, probably the best compliment I've had on a couple occasions is just from my dad or anybody in part of my family. Just when they tell you you've done a good job with something, it really means a lot.
When my mom and dad told me they're proud of me.
That I'm a good dad.
That my kids told me I was a good dad.
Well, I think the one I like the best is people say that I'm kind. So I think that's not a bad thing to be.
Somebody calls me Green Jesus. I don't know why, but that's a pretty nice compliment. So.
Best compliment I ever received was that I had a whole lot of hair in my head. That was a while ago.
Oh geez, it's got to be my voice. Not that I'm the greatest singer, but I think when you're surrounded by people that, they're not expecting you to be able to sing or expecting that you can do that, and so a lot of people compliment me on my voice, my talents that way. Some of the things we've achieved with certain horses, such as Burning Money or Baraki, you take horses that were once cheap horses and turn them into top level horses, and I've got a lot of pats on the back from that, and it just makes you feel really good.
Well, I think the one that meant the most to me was when Good Times won the Horseman's Trot as a 4-year-old, and Bill Wellwood handed me a note at an OHA meeting and complimented me on my preparation for him. So coming from Bill, that meant a lot.
Probably got to be, I win 6 races in one night as a trainer here at Mohawk one night, and Stu Ferlot, I don't know him very well. I know he was a great trainer, great horseman, and he came up to me and shook my hand, and he told me that he's never seen anything like that. He says that was an unbelievable accomplishment, and coming from a guy like him, it was pretty awesome.
I would say just guys putting you on the horses that you respect. Actually, when I was first starting driving, Ron Waples called me and asked me to go drive a horse he couldn't drive in Georgia, and he was going somewhere, and he asked me to go up and drive it. And I wasn't driving here very long, and Ron Waples was a big deal, is a big deal, and was a big deal, and that was a compliment to me. I took it as a compliment anyway. I hope he meant it like that, but I took it like that for sure.
I guess that's been coming a lot lately, the comments, because all these younger kids now call me Mr. Boughton all the time, so I got to consider that as a good compliment. So, but that just shows, hey, I'm getting old. But
for years and years, people that know me or people that know of me will come up to me and say, "Oh, you're the trotting man." So I've kind of had a reputation of that for quite a few years, of being called the trotting man, and racing a lot of trotters, so that kind of makes me feel good.
I would say probably getting inducted into the Hall of Fame with the names and the and my heroes that are in there, and getting congratulated by the likes of John Campbell and Hervé Fillon and stuff like that.
Well, of course, it's got to be Hall of Fame. In my young age, coming into Hall of Fame, it's something that you really don't, think that you're going to ever get to, but you're talking long over the years, and eventually you're standing there. And in the beginning, I didn't think it was a big deal to you. We were actually up there and standing there, and it was emotional. It was actually a really great award.
Sometimes the best compliment would be in Hanover. Sometimes I speak to the kids or say hi to the kids, and the kids just seem to adore that. So it's probably just speaking to the kids, being nice to them.
There's been a lot of really sweet compliments from a lot of the fans out there. Everyone will either message me on Facebook or something along those lines, see me at the fence. I think getting compared to some of my idols like Tetrick and Sears, so when you get compared and put in that category, even this early in my career, it's pretty flattering.
By far. I mean, have people, when you're on fire, when you're leading the country in wins, and when you're leading the continent in dash wins, people would text me, message me or whatever, and tell me that I was the best driver around, better than the Tetrick, better than Sears, better than all the top guys, which is, I think it's far from the truth, but it was a really, really nice compliment for sure.
The best compliment was probably how I drove a horse one time, or sometimes, you get a compliment after that you drove it well. So that was probably the best thing.
I drove a young horse for a guy a couple of weeks ago, I guess, and he thought I drove very well. I was very patient with him. He said, it kind of suited a young horse well, and I kind of thought that was nice, and I took that as a compliment. So.
Just when people say, a great driver, that's always, that makes me pretty proud because it's it's something I do for a living, so it makes you proud of what you do.